We're back, finally, and welcome the return of another episode of Dude's Midnight Podcast. And fuck you, Kik-A. Why are you always trying to show me up? Trying to say you're better than me.
I tried too hard.
That's what you get, you dumbass. Yeah, ruin it for our channel. Anyways, we're back. We're doing the Midnight Podcast again, motherfuckers. Oh, yeah. Cheers, Kik-A.
Yeah, cheers.
For those of you who don't know, this is the Midnight Podcast, where once a month, on a full moon, at 9 p.m., not at midnight, we show you this video, where we go over oddities like UFOs, conspiracies like government pedophilias, and shit that your mom says, why do you believe it? It's on the internet. And you're all like, shut the fuck up, mom. You don't know how to use the internet. You're ignorant. All right? Fuck you. Stop believing everything that Sleepy Joe Biden says. Anyways, but that's what we do. And we're back. You requested it. You wanted it. And you're gonna get it every which way. Yeah. Good job, Kik-A. Good job.
All right, go.
Tonight, Kik-A, we're gonna talk about the sleeping prophet, Edgar Cayce.
I think we're going to talk about Sleepy Joe Biden, but okay.
No. This is another sleepy old man.
Okay.
He was born March 18th, 1877. Kik-A, that was way before you and I were born. That's for sure. Yeah.
I'm glad I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. This man, he is the founder and of the Association for Research and Enlightenment is what they call it. These nerds, they call it that shit. And in there, they have readings, psychic readings, thousands of psychic readings that he did over the years to people that came to him. But before we get into some of those readings and some of them that predictions that have happened and are currently happening and have yet to happen, before we get into it, we're going to talk a little bit about his growing up, Kik-A.
All right, his upbringing.
Yeah. Hey, Kik-A, stop using big words, all right? They're that kind of channel, son of a bitch.
Some people are gonna... Okay, fine.
Yeah, there you go. Anyways, when he was 12 years old, Kik-A, this motherfucker...
He was a kid.
Well, yeah, he was a little boy in school and shit.
Yeah.
He was a nerd and kind of dumb and shit. But he would see things, Kik-A.
Can you be a nerd and dumb too?
Well, he was a nerd because he had glasses, but he wasn't smart.
Oh.
But he wasn't smart. You know,
He was stupid looking.
Yeah, there you go.
4 eyes.
Yeah, he was a 4-eyed motherfucker like you, Kik-A, except he wasn't smart. Yeah. But anyways, this motherfucker would see things. He said he would see fairies and tree folk and people that
I
were...
see a lot of fairies nowadays too.
Yeah. Me too. But he said he would see translucent people. And sometimes
I see a lot of trends too.
Well, yeah, well, maybe he was seeing the future already. The predictions
Maybe he was already.
Yeah, the predictions were already coming through. True, if you notice. But he says that one time, all the kids made fun of him, and he saw this lady with wings, and she was bright like an angel, and the lady asked him, like, what do you want more out of life? And he goes, I just want to be smart because, like, my dad, all the kids make fun of me and they say I'm dumb. And when I go home and I bring bad grades, my dad beats me and shit. And so the lady told him, tonight, put a book under your pillow and I'll take care of the rest. And he put a book under his pillow. And when he woke up in the morning, he memorized it all. He knew every page. They asked him what's on page 5.
This was like one of the moms of the bullies. And mom, just go fuck around with him. Dress in white. We'll put the light behind you. He's so dumb, he'll fucking believe it.
Well, he believed it enough. He was learning by sleeping on top of books and shit.
Shut the fuck up, for real?
According to this, I don't know. I wasn't born in the 1800s. Allegedly. Yeah. Well, of course, as he grew up, nobody believed him that he talked to angels and saw weird creatures and shit. But when he was 24 years of age, he got a really bad case of laryngitis. I've had one for the past 6 years. It hasn't gone away. But back in the day, yeah, I don't know, they didn't have medicine like in the 1800s like they did today. And so they had weird shit, like somebody told him, go to a hypnotist, he'll fix your laryngitis. He's like, a hypnotist, okay.
Go to this charlatan. He'll fix you right up.
Yeah. And so he went to a hypnotist and shit, and they hypnotized him.
He taught him all about hypnotism and taking money from people.
I guess he did. But anyways, once he was there under hypnosis, he started saying his diagnosis and what was wrong with him and how to cure him. And when he woke up, he was cured. He could talk again. And that was the first case that he realized, hey, I have a gift now. And so he figured out that he could put himself on a state of where he's asleep, where his body's asleep, but his mind stays awake.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I guess he could astral project. And so he wanted to help people, he wanted to help people because he thought this was a gift from God.
For a moderate price.
Yeah. No, Kik-A. This is what everybody has misconception about. He never took any money from anyone.
Oh, really?
Never.
Well, he was asleep?
No. He never took any money from anyone. Rather, the people that he actually helped, they would donate to him because they got rich and they're like, here you go, man. Like, you fucking changed my life. He never asked anyone for anyone. And a lot of poor people went to him for diseases. And that's how he started, just diseases. People were sick and they wanted to know what to do. And so
I think I read something about this guy now that you're talking about him. Did the Coca-Cola guy went to him?
A lot of people did. All right, but don't be jumping.
Shit.
Don't be jumping around, Kik-A. Let me tell you a story.
Asking.
We're starting from the beginning. All right, you're already jumping to like famous people and shit. Fuck that guy.
He was stupid. He was a 4-eye. He got laryngitis. He got fixed because this hypnotized guy told him he was fixed. And then he thought, well, I have a gift, right? And because the hypnotizer guy hypnotized him. So it wasn't really his gift. It was the hypnotizer.
Well, whoever gave him the gift, he had a gift. And he started giving it to the public. People would come
I hope
to him.
it wasn't like a white gift inside of his mouth.
I don't know how you're getting to that conclusion, but let's get back to the subject. Kik-A.
Okay.
All right. There was always 3 people involved in this. It was him who would fall asleep, a lady who was typing out what he was saying because they wanted to keep a record of it. A friend of his that was a doctor that he met because he actually did a reading for him. And this man, it turned out to be true. And this man was so fucking amazed that he just like, I want to study you and just be there when you do this shit. And he's a doctor and just make sure that you're healthy and shit. Take your blood pressure while this is happening. So he became involved. And then his wife would ask the questions. He would tell the people that would come ask me the question, write in a piece of paper, and I'll ask him. And then he'll say it. He'll talk in his sleep. And that's what they would do. But he would supposedly, according to him, is that the way all he needed to cure illness was the name of the person that was sick, and for you to tell them exactly where that person was at that exact time. If he was in his bed, if he was at home, if he was right next to him, you just needed to tell him those 2 things: the name of the person and where that person was right then and there at that point.
That's
and he
interesting.
said that he would astral project and automatically be floating on top of them. And like a CAT scan, of course, they don't know the word CAT scan, I'm using it, but like a CAT scan, he would scan his body like an x-ray and see what was wrong with the person and say the diagnosis and if there's a cure or if there isn't. Well, you got AIDS and we don't have anything for that, you're fucked. Shit like that.
Imagine you're doing that for your buddy and you tell him, stay here, motherfucker, because I'm gonna go to this guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna fucking check you. Don't move.
Exactly.
Nowadays it would be like, hey, what's up? What you at? Okay, hold on. He's over here at Pizza Hut. All right, cool. All right.
Yeah, exactly. But that's how it started. And he cured some people, and the word of mouth got around. There's a guy doing this for free. And then somebody from the press got a hold of it, and it was in the newspaper because there was no TV back then. So all of a sudden, people started showing up to his doorstep, Kik-A. All right.
All of a sudden means like 2 to 3 years, guys.
Yeah.
Don't think it's like YouTube.
Yeah.
It was the 1800s. Okay.
It took a long time, but all of a sudden, all these people were showing up. But he says his gifts sometimes were a curse. Before we get into more of the stories, he says that one time he was with his wife at a party, and he saw these 3 guys, and all of a sudden,
they want to fuck my wife.
Well, yeah, I mean, probably. I don't know what kind of party it was, but back in the day, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, there was no AIDS back then. Kik-A. Oh, yeah. Anyways, Kik-A, quit making it sexual.
Okay.
God damn it. Anyways, he saw these three guys at a party, Kik-A, and all of a sudden they changed. He saw them in soldiers' uniforms, and he saw them as corpses. And he felt sick and freaked the fuck out, and he left the party, and the wife had to go after him. I'm sorry, he's a little bit autistic. Apologize to her, but I'm sorry. And she went after him. And he says, man, that was the first time that kind of shit ever happened to him. But when, like I said, all of a sudden all these people started showing up when the word got around. And of course, that's when all the fucking rich, greedy, white draconians started showing up at his doorstep. Yeah.
How should I win more money?
Exactly.
I mean, should I get rid of more of this? Should I hire Mexicans and lower rates?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah. These two guys from Texas supposedly showed up, and they were asking them that they just bought a bunch of
different then.
Yeah. They bought a bunch of land to drill for oil, and they had been drilling and they couldn't get nothing. And so they went to him, and Edgar Cayce told them, go to this latitude and longitude, and then drill 230.
We don't know anything about latitude. Tell me where.
Yeah, to the left.
Like that.
Yeah, to the left. Yeah. Go to the left and drill down 231 feet, and then drop some nitroglycerine and explode it, and you'll get a spring of oil. Those guys did it, and they got rich.
The first one died because he was standing right next to it. The second guy was like, well, I'm not going to do that stupid shit. And then he
got rich.
Far away.
Yeah. There's a guy named Morton Blumenthal. His family is super rich nowadays.
Blumenthal.
Yeah.
I wonder where they from.
He went 200 times to visit Edgar Cayce and asked him a bunch of questions about the stock market. He became a millionaire. And he made so much money that he actually donated tons of money to Edgar Cayce and says, "Here you go, buddy. Thanks for the tips." Yeah. But because of all these greedy, fucking readings that he was doing, he would wake up and be like drained and dizzy, and he would have headaches for days. And he said that's God punishing me for misusing my gift. Because
for helping the wealthy.
Yeah, he gave it to me to help the sick and the poor, and I'm helping bad people.
Exactly.
And so he started refusing, but supposedly the rumors, and I don't know any of this is true, but some of the rumors is that some of the presidents and like the fucking, what are these called, the Rockefellers, and a bunch of people visited him and shit.
I heard some stories about that too.
So I mean, those are all just rumors. I don't know if it's true or not. But one time, this is a documented case. The police went to him and said, well, let's see if you're real, you charlatan. We're trying to solve this case, an unsolved mystery, because, we don't have technology.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I totally picture, like, the police were like, what would be our Gray's next hit? Try Roxanne.
No, not the police, the real police.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the motherfuckers are bust motherfuckers who break the law. Yeah. Well, they showed up.
Tell us where they are. Who should we blame?
Basically, they had a murder. A woman got shot and they couldn't find a gun. They didn't have a motive. They didn't have no fingerprints back then. So they were just a woman dead in her house.
They were like, we already castrated all the blacks. Like, we can't find the guy.
Yeah. There's no blacks living in the next 2 counties. Who killed this white woman? They couldn't figure it out. So they came to Edgar Cayce. Edgar Cayce levitated, or not levitated, but he went to his sleeps and shit, and he fucking astral projected. And he came back with this crazy story, and the cops didn't know to believe him or not. And the story was this, Kik-A. He said there's 2 sisters, the woman who died and her younger sister. And it says a long time ago when they were teenagers, the younger sister was in love with this guy, and the guy was gonna ask her to marry her. But the older sister, she was jealous because no one had asked her to marry her, and she was way older than the little sister. And she found a letter from the guy asking the little sister to marry her. And she got jealous because back in the day, they were pussies, Kik-A. They were no, like, going to on one knee. They would send a letter. That's how shy they were. They wouldn't even look at
would you please take my hand, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. And so the older sister got jealous, and she said, my little sister's gonna get married before me. Fuck that. And she hid the letter in one of her drawers. Yeah, she hid the letter in a book in her room, right? Well, now that they're old ladies, and they're both single, living together.
Jesus.
The younger sister found a book cleaning the house, and she opened it and saw the letter. And she goes, this whole time I could have married him and had a bunch of kids and had to help. And instead I've been living here with my bitter old sister because she did this. And she went and got a gun and shot her sister. And then threw the gun. They were in the second floor. She threw the gun out the window, and the window went through the roof and fell in the gutter.
Oh.
It was all true. The cops even found the gun in the gutter exactly where the guy said.
Jesus.
And they arrested the lady, and she confessed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have felt sorry for her. I'd be like, you know what, ma'am? You could have gotten your fucking turkey stuffed all this time. We're going to let you free.
Yeah. We're all going to gangbang you. Oh,
yeah. Here.
It was legal back then, Kik-A.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a crazy shit. But they asked him, how are you doing this? How did you know this whole story in their past and shit? And he said, well, it's kind of like there's a place that I go to, and it's kind of like a big library. And over there, they call it the Akashic Records.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, Akashic. Yeah.
Gesundheit.
And he says that the library has a book for each person. And not even for each person, it's for each soul. And when you open it, you can look for Kik-A, and you open it, and you look into past lives, and you see that you were still an Antifa communist motherfucker in your past life.
This guy's still masturbating.
Yeah. And you see past
still
lives.
Masturbating.
You see the past lives, the present lives, and the future lives. You can see everything, different lives of persons of the same soul. And he says that's how he knows stuff, and he can help people. And he talked to this lady one time this lady said, well, I want to know about my past life. And he told her some shit that, hey, you were a Mayan priestess. And when the Atlanteans came, the white people came in their boats, you all started worshiping them like gods, and you thought they were from space, but they were just from the east, from an island of Atlantis. And you
could have tell by their armpit smell.
Yeah. They were just white people. They never seen white people before.
Gods don't smell like that.
Yeah. There's also a German family who was living in America before World War II, and they were missing the motherland over there in Schwachen, Germany. And they wanted to go over there. Yeah. They wanted to go back over there, and they went and talked to Edgar Cayce because there was a lot of money to go back over there back in the day because you got to go by boat. There was no airplanes and shit. And it takes like 7 months to go across the sea.
Should we go back home right now? Yeah. It's 1928. I mean, we really miss the land.
Yeah.
No, don't do it.
Exactly.
Don't do it.
Don't fucking go. Stay in America. All right. And if you're racist, especially stay in America. Trust me. Those people will eventually end up over here. Yeah, they'll end up over here, those people. Just stay over here, basically. And he told him not to go, and then World War II break out and all the Nazis. So, I mean, he kind of predicted that. He also said that 2 presidents were going to die in office within the next couple, within, whatever presidency. And we had that Franklin Roosevelt and then John F. Kennedy that died. Yeah.
That's true.
And then
he didn't die. They killed him, guys.
Yeah. And then his friend, the doctor, who would monitor him and just observe him and studying him, he straight up told him, hey, you come and you answer everybody's questions, but let's experiment. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, let's see if you can peek into the future and find out about like resurrections or reincarnations.
I thought he was gonna be like, is my fucking bitch of a wife cheating on me? Fuck that bitch.
No, he didn't want to see the future. He's crazy. He was into the occult and shit. Want to see about the devil. Yeah, he want to see about the devil and all that. And he said that he predicted back then in the 1800s that in the future, scientists or doctors were going to use our blood to diagnose illnesses, which is what they do a blood test for.
The doctor back then that's impossible. That's preposterous.
Yeah, that's satanic. Yeah. He also
said, we drain the blood to make them better. Yeah. That's the way we work.
He also predicted El Niño and La Niña, those weather shit that we get every couple of years. The fuck up the weather. Yeah, that he predicted that.
Little fucking devils.
And also, he predicted that the Dead Sea Scrolls were going to be found in 1947. And all this is he said this all before he even died, because he died later. But he was saying all this before it even happened, which is fucking insane. He even said that there are hidden records underneath the Sphinx in Egypt. When over there where that pussy Zahai Hawass That motherfucker, yeah, he doesn't want to let nobody dig or excavate anymore. He wants to keep all the secrets for
Everything
himself.
we do is fake, okay? Everything is fake. We would just wanted to keep it to ourselves.
That dumbass and his excavators have damaged more ancient property than anyone else with their stupid archaeologist ways. They're using a bulldozer to dig. When they break the fucking everything when they dig into the ground. Those fucking dumbasses.
Jesus Christ. Now we know we can break it. Scientific achievement.
Yeah, fucking idiots. I swear to God, I don't like the pussies over here in America, but at least they take their time with little dust petals and shit slowly until they get to the bottom and get the bones. These pendejos are using bulldozers trying to dig big holes. They're breaking everything in half in the process.
I think we found something.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, anyways. Fuck that guy, Kik-A. That guy pissing me off, man. Anyways. He said that in the future, humans, Kik-A, their lifespans are going to be expanded through science. Now, I don't know if that's already happened, because technically we do live a lot longer.
Actually.
Yeah, than he did back then. He also said there was going to be a machine, a perpetual motion machine that never runs out of fuel and keeps going forever. The Indians have already done it, but they're never going to release it because that's free energy for everybody.
Pretty much.
Yeah, the Illuminati will never let that technology be released to the public, but I've seen videos on YouTube where a bunch of Indian scientists, and I'm talking about motherfuckers that live in huts and shit, they've already built it. And very primitive too, but they built it with whatever radios and shit they find at the junkyard.
Yeah, but this is how corrupt their government is, that they're like,
we'll keep it
to... everyone's governments.
Everyone's
But
government.
their own government could have been, you know what, we're gonna give free fucking energy for all, but they're so greedy, they're like, no, we keep it to ourselves.
He said that the Middle East war is actually going to be including Libya, Egypt, and Syria. Surprisingly, not Jerusalem. Surprisingly.
Because we're going to aid them.
Because it's America. Yeah, it's basically Jerusalem is America's arm in the Middle East. It's basically what it is. Yeah. Here's our muscle.
The arm.
Here's our muscle. Yeah, that's all we are there. The greatest and craziest prediction that hasn't happened yet is probably the scariest one, Kik-A. He says that China will become the #1 country in the world and will be the main Christian nation of the world.
Christian?
Yes.
I thought they were Buddhist.
He said in the future, everybody's going to turn to Christ in China.
Okay.
And their country will become when that happens, their country will become #1 and take over the globe.
Jesus. Imagine what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Everyone else is a bunch of fucking gays and lesbians, but they're gonna be fucking Christians and they're gonna be better than everyone. That's what's gonna happen.
Wow. America's gonna be, we'll join in, but we have to be Christians. Okay.
Now we're Babylon, all right?
Yeah, we are.
We're Babylon. Let it be known. Yeah. We don't fuck like that. With one of the greatest and most feared predictions that everybody keeps talking about, I think even scarier than China being Christian, Kik-A. He said that the closer we get to 2030, that the more the poles will shift. And he said they will shift about, I forget what it was, either 30 or 60 degrees. I don't know, some shit like that. I don't remember the math. I didn't fucking write it down. But it's gonna move just a little bit. And he says areas that used to be really fucking cold will now be tropical. And it's moving downwards, Kik-A. It's not gonna move out because you went to the side, but it's gonna move downwards. So he says that the main cataclysmic events will occur when 2 volcanoes erupt at the same time. And he says Mount Etna, and he named them Mount Etna in Italy. And Mount Etna erupted last year on November 27.
That's true.
It did. All right, that was the one. And he says the second one is Mount Pelée in France. Now, it's active, and it's been active for years. Smoke comes out of it, but there's been no eruption. But supposedly, when those 2 volcanoes...
Pelé did die, though.
Yeah, he did, but it had nothing to do with the volcano.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Could have been, I don't know, maybe he misread.
When both of these volcanoes erupt and shit, we have 90 days to evacuate coastal cities, he says.
Oh, coastal cities, we're fine here.
Yeah, we're good. Don't worry, I've seen the maps, Kik-A. But he says, Africa will flood and split into basically 3 continents, is the way it will flood. And Egypt will completely be underwater, disappear. Japan will no longer exist. Neither will Taiwan and most of Korea. A lot of the China, people will have to move away from the coast of China, obviously. He said LA, San Francisco will be completely underwater, and most of California will be turned into 150 small islands.
Good. We don't need them.
Yeah. And he says New York City will also be gone. And he says the Great Lakes will flood into the Mississippi, and the Mississippi will widen and expand, and all that water that comes down through the Mississippi will flood the Gulf. And obviously anybody like New Orleans and Houston and Galveston and all those will be gone underwater. They'll be underwater. In a matter of 3 months, 90 days, the changes will happen in 90 days. So yeah. And then he also
said, they have their time, but I ain't moving from here. This is my house.
Exactly. That's what they do. Says that Antarctica will also be in a warmer climate and will start growing green again. The ice will melt. There'll be land, and you'll see it turn into a new continent.
It's gonna be beautiful.
And everybody's gonna be fighting for it. I bet you.
No.
Yeah. New Zealand is the only country that will have the least destruction because the land around it will
the nicest people.
Yeah. The land around it will rise, and they will have a huge continent that'll actually connect to Australia.
Oh, look at here. There's a little thing. Oh, we can go over there. Oh, that's good. Oh, ain't that nice?
Europe will completely sink into the seas. I mean, they're already islands. And Atlantis will rise again in the middle of the Atlantic.
All the corpse.
He said before he died at the age of 67 years in 1945, January the 3rd to be exact. In 1945, he died 67. He gave his final reading 4 days before his death, and he said, in 4 days, you will be burying me. And he died of a stroke. He had a stroke and he died. But he also said in that same reading that because of the cycle of reincarnation, he will reincarnate on this earth again on the year 2158.
Oh, wow.
He says he's going to reincarnate in Nebraska. And at that time, in 2158, Nebraska is going to be a coastal state.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
He says there's going to be...
Do you think when he died, the guys that were like, hey, man, he started to stink? No, man. He said 4 dates.
We gotta wait. We gotta wait until tomorrow.
Gotta wait, bro. Yeah. I don't know.
He's already bloated.
It's really fucking bad, dude.
It's coming out of his mouth. Yeah. He said there's gonna be a lot of fakes that are gonna come around before then and say that they're the reincarnated Edgar Cayce, and they're gonna say they give readings. But
I am the real.
I'm gonna leave.
I'm the real.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave a list of questions for anybody who comes and claims. We'll have to come to this foundation here that is still running to this day.
Oh, that is cool as fuck. He left questions.
And if the only questions that I would know, and 5 questions, and if they answer them correctly, you know it's actually me reincarnated. And one of these dumb sons of one of these dumb sons of bitches, his family, his bloodline, they have it. One of these dumb sons of bitches, David Wilcox, that fake, that fraud, that charlatan, makes all these videos on YouTube and shit, talking about like he knows aliens and all this bullshit. Fuck you.
Oh, the guy with an endless forehead?
Yeah, that guy, Kik-A. He comes on HA Aliens too and shit. Fuck you. All those guys in HA Aliens, they're no doctors and shit. It's a bunch of motherfuckers like you, Kik-A. They don't even have a 2-year degree, I bet. Yeah, they don't, Kik-A. They just read a lot of books and they think they're smart. Fuck them.
Well, I think
David Wilcox, like an idiot, went over there and took that test, and they laughed at his ass and told him to get the fuck out of here. They don't believe in fucking lying motherfuckers talking about they know aliens and shit. Yeah. And they kicked his ass out.
Is there a video of this? I would love to see it.
Nah, back then there were no videos back then. Kik-A, it was the 90s.
Oh, yeah. That's how charlatans work. No. The cameras will, I don't work well with cameras.
Hey, Kik-A. what do you think about Mr. Edgar Cayce? You think he was a charlatan, a fake, a fraud?
Look, from what I've heard about this guy is that, like, you know, the guy from Coca-Cola, this is what I remember, and this was years ago. The guy from Coca-Cola was like, what should I do? My medicine doesn't work and shit, you know? And he told him, like, no, you have to go to Peru and get this leaf and put it in your fucking soda and shit. And, you know, he put cocaine in it, you know? And everybody loved it.
I love it. I love it. Oh, yeah.
I don't fucking taste that shit. I don't like it.
You should kick it. It's addicting. Oh, yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want to have diabetes.
Calm down, Kik-A. You gotta live a little, okay? You only live once, YOLO, motherfucker.
I live with this, sir.
Yeah. But
That's
what do you
what
think?
I like.
What is your conclusion and opinion on Edgar Cayce?
He said 2100.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. I'm not gonna be alive to press
No, we're not. But he did say that. I forgot to say this. The prophecy, Kik-A.
Yeah.
That after all the destruction and the earth changes, that the world will finally unite in one wokeness, and they'll finally say, "Hey, there really are two genders, but some of us can still be gay and lesbians and dress like women and chop off our dicks if that's our preference. But there really are two genders, and everyone will agree, and the world will live in peace." Kik-A.
Fuck yeah. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah. But you have to wait until all the destruction, Kik-A.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what happened with the Romans.
Yeah. But like I said, what do you think of this guy?
I mean,
you believe
he
it?
sounds.
Think he's real?
I don't believe it. I don't believe anything that I don't see. But you know, there's a lot of stories, and you know when they say that legends might be true because word passes around and around, and then you're like, well, why do so much people fucking talk about this if it's not true? You know?
Yeah.
So, that's my take.
Yeah. Well, Edgar Cayce, our sleeping prophet, may he rest in peace.
Until 2100.
Until 2100. 2158 to be exact, I think. What it says
I'll
here.
be there in Nebraska, having my second life due to regenerative medicine.
No, Kik-A. No, we're gonna be born again. That's what he says. We're resurrected again to other bodies.
I don't want to die.
You never die. Your soul keeps going to another body. You might even not be resurrected. You don't want to know why. It's gonna take him to 2158 supposedly to be resurrected. He's gonna go through other planets and shit and other forms and creatures and shit. Resurrection before you finally.
I do want to see that.
Yeah, before you finally come around the cycle back to a human being.
I want to be an algae in Pluto or something.
Yeah, shit like that.
One of Jupiter's fucking like moons or something.
Yeah.
I'll be an underground ice fucking animal that nobody knows about until like 2100 or something.
I'm gonna come back as a draconian Kik-A, blonde, blue-eyed, white skin, pale skin, some scales, maybe a tail.
I want to be privileged for once.
Some scales, maybe a tail.
Oh,
some wings.
That'd be fun.
Like a dragon.
Yeah.
Flip around and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can call me the White Dragon. Oh, yeah. See, I like it already.
Yeah, I mean, you already fucking planned over your life, man. That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. We all got to kick it. We gotta make plans. Anyways, thank you for joining us back again on the Midnight Podcast, and we're gonna be we're gonna be doing this from now on on the full moon. But until Kik-A, wait. Until then, Kik-A.
Okay.
Give them some life advice relevant to our shit. You can do it with that bullshit voice you're doing.
That's fine. It's already won. So don't believe everything you hear. Go to the library and check this guy's fucking library. I want to go there.
Okay. Fuck you, Kik-A. Did the war once again? We just came back from the Midnight Podcast, and your advice is go read a book. Fuck you.
No, didn't you say he left a fucking library of shit? I want to go there.
Oh, to his. All right, you know what? Yeah, that's good. Go to Edgar Cayce's fucking humanitarian fund or whatever the shit they call it over there. I don't even know where it's located, but just go over there and do it. Support this man and his prophecies of the future.
Oh, and another one, don't smoke too much weed because then you don't follow up with what I'm saying.
That too. Don't drink and drive.
No, drink and stay
home.
like I do.
Cheers!
Cheers.